Hello everybody, welcome to the Python course. In the previous part, we have covered module 4, that is list and tuples. Now we'll move to the module 5, that is string manipulation. This module is also divided into two parts. In the first part, we'll see introduction about the strings, then we'll see string accessing, slicing, indexing, string concatenation. So this is a first part we gonna see and study. The second part is that we will look upon the basic string methods. So there are various inbuilt methods that has been provided by Python that can be used on the strings. So that we gonna see one by one, right? So let's get into practice. So I have already opened up Anaconda Navigator. Now I click on Jupyter Notebook to launch a new notebook and we'll begin the session. Okay, so I'll move to documents, GitHub projects, Python trainings, Tonic, and then I'll create a new notebook named module 5 strings. Okay. Now, what is a string? This will see, and then we wanted to access a character in a string. So accessing can be done by two ways. Either it is done by positive indexing, either it is done by negative indexing, right? So then we'll see the inbuilt function that is used to calculate the number of elements present in the string, that is done by using the length keyword. Then we'll see string concatenation, how we can add two strings. Then we'll check why strings are immutable. So earlier we have seen that lists are mutable. We can change the list elements, we can modify them, we can add element to the list. So this operation hold true in the strings also or not? So this we wanna see. String slicing, and then in the last part we'll see the in operator. Right? So what is a string? So string is basically a sequence of characters. Whether you write hello world, right, inside a double quotes, or hello world inside a single quote. Anything which is enclosed inside the quotes is known as strings. Or a single characters enclosed in a double quotes or single quote is also represented as a string data type in Python. So remember, there is no such data type called as char in Python. Whether you write a single character or whether you write a sequence of characters, it represents the same, right? So it is represented as strings only. Whatever you write inside a double quote or a single quote, that is known as string. So let us practice this thing. Okay. So I type a variable that is my string and put a, right? So this is a single character, right? If I wanted to check the type of this variable, so it will return us a string. Similarly, if I change it to a single quote, this also represent a string. So there is no such change. And if in place of single character I write a sequence of character, so that is represented as string, right? There is no such change. Similarly, if I write a double quotes inside it, or I would write Amit is good person, right? A sentence, that is also represented as a string, right? If I write here inside this string some numbers, right? So this numbers also be treated as strings, not integers, because it is being enclosed inside the quotes. If I remove these quotes and then I try to check the type of my string, so it is integer. But as soon as you write a single quote or a double quote, so it functionality changes and it has been treated as strings, right? So this is how string is represented, and string is a sequence of characters. Okay, so now we'll see how to access a single character in a string. So that is done by positive index. So indexing starts from 0 and negative index starts from -1 to the end of the length of the characters, or the end word, or the element which is present at the end position, right? So this we have already seen while doing the list part, indexing, positive indexing and negative indexing, right? So this indexing concept is similar throughout our data types. It is same as in tuples, it is same as in list, and it is same as in strings also. In the strings, this is a sequence of characters which is written hello world, and at every particular index location some value is being stored. At the index 0, H is stored, at 1 E is stored, 2 L is stored, and likewise at the 10th position D is stored. Here at the 5th position there is a blank character. So that character is not blank, it is basically a space. So space is also a character which is being represented as a string in Python, right? So this also holds some index position or some index value, right? So this is how we represent a indexing in case of our strings. And the negative indexing starts from the negative part, that is -1, and goes up till to the starting of the string. It starts from the end and goes till the starting, right? So you can access your character likewise by using a positive index or either by a negative index. So let's see how it is done, right? I take a string, my string 2, and put it hello comma word, right? So if I wanted to access the index 0, right, the element which is present at the index 0, so index, my bad, H is present, right? If I wanted to access the element which is present at index 1, E is present. Similarly 2, L is present, 3, L is present, 4, O is present, 5, space. So now check this one. So it is also enclosed in a quotes, and it is also a string, right? Similarly 6 we have W, 7 we have O, 8 we have R, 9 we have L, and 10 we have D. If anything we wanted to access out of the index, so it will result in the string index out of range error, right? Similarly we could have the negative indexing which starts from -1, that is D is -1, 2 is L, 3 is R, 4 is O, 5 is W, and 6 is space. 7 is O, 8 is L, 9 is again L, and then we have 10 E, and the last, that is the beginning of the string, that is H, right? So this is how we could access the elements by using the positive index and the negative index. So how we can calculate the length of the string? So this we already know, the inbuilt function, that is len. So length of string that we have 11 elements inside this my string, right? Then we'll see the string concatenation. Plus operator is used to concatenate string. For example, in this screen you can see that, so there is a foo which is enclosed in a string, bar is also enclosed in a string. So strings can be only be concatenated by a string, right? So if we have a number or an integer and we wanted to add to our string value, so that could be done by either two methods. Either you typecast it or you simply put a quote onto that value to make it a string, right? And then we can concatenate it, and then we could add it or add integer value to our string. Or we could also do the operation like this: we have a name equal to Monty, last name equal to Python, and we could concatenate two parts or two variables and get a Monty Python. Now let us try this one part. So we'll say name equal to TrueNick, right? And we'll say course equal to Python, right? So now I wanted to add name plus course. It will result TrueNick Python, but I also wanted to add a space inside the TrueNick and Python, right? So that can be done it by using a space and then concatenating the course part, right? So space is also a string. We can only concatenate a string to another string. We cannot concatenate string to integer, but if we wanted to do that, we need to typecast it, right? So suppose I wanted to add modules to it, it will result me in the error. It says can only concatenate string, not integer. So this module has to be converted or typecast into a string. Then and only then we could add that part, right? So this is how your concatenation works in case of your strings, right? So plus operator is used to concatenate string. And second thing we need to remember, string could be only concatenated with the other strings. So its data type must be of string, otherwise you need to convert your data type to your string data type, right? So we are trying to add 1 to 3. So it has given us the type error that says cannot concatenate string and integer objects, and the string concatenation does not work with other data types, right? Instead we use a string str, then we have concatenated successfully. Now we'll see strings are immutable. So this immutable and mutability concept I've already told you in my previous lectures. So what is mutable? Mutable is something which can change itself. So here in your screen you can see that there is a message and it's a variable which holds some string value, that is Python is awesome. And at the 0th position we have P, right? And at the 0th position we wanted to change p by j, right? So we are trying to modify the element which is present at some particular location, right? So this type of operation is not acceptable and it does not support item assignment. We cannot change the element present at the particular location in case of your string data type. However, we could change the entire string, that is acceptable, but inside the uh, index values, values which are present at the your index position, we cannot modify that, right? So Python strings cannot be changed and it says it is immutable, right? So now there's your name variable, right? So that is tunic, and if I wanted to access 0th element it says t, and if I wanted to change tunic to uh, acronic, that is I wanted to change name to, right, small t. So that was capital T, I wanted to change it to small t, right? Right, so that is also not allowed because string does not support item assignment. However, I could change the entire variable by using the assignment operator. That could be done. So now the name is being changed, sorry, right? So name has been changed, name variable has been changed to trunic with a lowercase t, but earlier it was trunic with uppercase t. So we cannot modify the element present at the index position 0 to small t or any other variable or any other character. That is not allowed. So that is why strings are immutable. We cannot modify the element which is present at the index position. Okay, so this is strings are immutable, but that does not mean that variable cannot change. Variable can point to anything. Here in this example we have seen that message equal to Python is awesome, right? So then we could change the message, that it we could assign new values to that variable, but we cannot modify the individual entities or the individual index position values inside that particular variable, right? So we can say that Python is awesome, so that was message. So we can change it to Python is dynamically typed, that we can do it, but we cannot change Python to Jython, that is replacing p by j. So now slicing. Slicing is a way to extract subparts of a string's list and tuple. So slicing works in the similar fashion which we have already seen, right? So it has a start index and an end index. Start index substring starts from this element, and the end index is the end of the substring, and end element or the uh, substring of the end is not included. So it doesn't includes in the slicing part, right? For example, we have a message that is Python is awesome, and we wanted to slice the string from 0th index to 5th index. The fifth position element is not included, so n would not be present, right? And we wanted to access elements from 7 up till 10, right? Element at position at 10, so 10 is not included, up till 9 is there. If I don't specify anything, the like all the string is being printed, and I want to, if I don't specify the end part, so it will start from 5th element and will go up till the end, right? And here if I don't specify the start index, it will basically start from 0 position. So let us try it. So we have the name. If I try to index 0 up till 3, so true will there, right? And here if I don't specify anything, tonic will be there. If I wanted to go from 3 to up till the end, nick will be there, right? So this is how your slicing works, right? We need to specify a start index and an end index. End index is not included, so it will be excluded in case of slicing, right? So this we have already covered. Okay, so then we have the in operator. So it is a boolean operator which takes two strings and returns true if the first string is the substring of the second string, otherwise it will return false. So we wanted to check whether t character is present in welcome to Python or not, right? So it will check. So it is a boolean operator, it will result in true and false. And in the second part we are checking whether Python is present in welcome to Python, right? So it takes two strings, first string will match the next string or the other string and will return true or false likewise, right? So here in the name, whether unique, right, and unique we need to keep it in, right? So it says whether unique is present in name or not. So name we have true unique, right? So this is how we say it, right? If I go and type 1, so it will be returning as false because true unique 1 is not present in true unique, right? So this is how your in operator works. It takes two strings and it returns true if the first string is the substring of the second string, otherwise it will give us false, right? Okay, so now we'll move to the exercise. So I have a program in which I wanted to reverse a string. For example, I have my name is Ashish and the output is something like this. So I wanted to reverse the contents of a string or a reverse a string, right? Okay, so this is the most commonly occurring problem which you encounter in the interviews, right? So this question is being widely asked in whenever you go for an interview, right? So there are various methods to do a string reversal. I will teach you the simplest method how to do a string reversal, right? So I want you guys to try it out and do a brainstorming part, and in the next series I will give you the solution for this, right? So this was a string reversal, and the other part is that we have a string how to reverse a number. So given an input number and I wanted to print the reverse of a number, right? So this can also be done in various methods, but in terms of string, so we are dealing with this topic of a string, so I will teach you how we could do it by using a string method, right? Okay, so far what we have done is we have covered the string parts, and strings are immutable, string concatenation, slicing and length, right? So in this next part we'll take up the string methods. So thank you guys, thanks for watching.